I get to do two things I'm passionate about. I get paid to travel, and I get paid to do art. So it works really well.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Why Bother, the podcast where we explore why creative people bother doing things the hard way. I'm your host, Gareth Davies from Maker House, and I'm here with Catherine from Creationz by Catherine. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to learn about your business and get to know you a bit better. We've been working with you for a number of years now. You are a top-selling ornament maker at Maker House. So being that it's the holiday season, we're coming into Christmas, we have our hats on. You can see we've got our tree with some of your beautiful ornaments. So happy holidays, everybody. And if you haven't gotten your last minute things yet, you can still come into the shop and grab them. We have a great selection of ornaments, for example, from Catherine. So let's jump right in. We like to do something fun to warm up called
Bother or Not Bother.
Those are your two options, okay?
Okay.
Bother is good. Not bother is basically no, I don't do that. All right. Do you drink coffee?
Bother.
All right.
I'm a big coffee drinker. I love my lattes in the morning.
Amazing. Okay. And on that note, are you a morning person? Early mornings?
I would say I'm both. Sometimes I have to get up early for work, and I also like to draw in the morning. That's when I get more creation inspiration.
Okay.
So, and I like to work at night. So it depends.
So you're like a bookend creative person, and stay tuned to learn about her other job, which is very interesting as well. What about roller coasters?
I love roller coasters, and I've been going to roller coaster parks since I was a kid, and I still enjoy them. I just can't do the spinning ones anymore. That doesn't turn out to be a good day, but I love the
little blender brain
speed ones. Yeah.
Okay, nice. What about scary movies?
I love scary movies.
All right, bother.
I prefer the old versions of the scary movies, like the ones with in the 80s, like Chucky and yeah, not the new version.
With like the old special effects. Yeah. What about TikTok?
TikTok, I don't bother. I think a lot of social media, there's so many out there, and I prefer to try to stay to one or two. So I'm on Instagram and Facebook. Okay. And I think that's already overwhelming.
It's hard to keep up with.
Exactly.
Like yet another platform.
Yeah.
Have you heard of X, by the way? It's the new Twitter.
Oh, no, I haven't.
Digital drawing, digital medium.
Bother for sure. Yeah.
Okay. What about traditional painting or drawing?
I bother as well.
You do both?
Yes,
you cross
I do
over.
both.
Okay, awesome. One last one. Eggnog.
Bother. I love eggnog, and I love eggnog with coffee as well.
Amazing. All right. And it is the season, so you're going to maybe have some rum and eggnog over the holidays.
I even start drinking eggnog in October.
You're like the first person to get it when it's on the show.
When it's out, I'm in.
Amazing. I love it. When it's out, I'm in. All right. Thank you for that. Now we're going to get into more of the background of when you started Creationz by Catherine and what was the motivation. But first, tell us what you did before this, and it's still your day job. Yes,
I'm a flight attendant. I've been working as a flight attendant for about 9 years now. Oh, wow. And I still love it. It might seem like an odd choice to have like a small business and to be away all the time. But for me, it works. It's a perfect blend because I get to do two things I'm passionate about. I get paid to travel, and I get paid to do art. So it works really well. I also always take my sketchbook and my iPad along the way. Okay. So I draw in hotels and in between flights because there's a lot of downtime.
That makes sense. Yeah, that would be actually really great to be crafty when you're out there waiting for your next flight or in between. Yeah. And
when I visit different cities, it also brings me more inspiration to the places I travel to.
Yeah, very cool. And I think you said that you're working more domestically, like in Canada and the US right now. Have you been a flight attendant more internationally previously, or has it mostly been in Canada?
I haven't, but I do have perks to go all over the world. So I have traveled a lot.
Okay. Just not working. You've been able to enjoy a vacation.
Through my work, I can get a good discount. And so I do travel a lot.
Oh, that's great. What are some of the favorite places you've been to?
There's a lot of places I loved, but I would say probably Botswana is in Namibia, all in the southern part of Africa.
Okay.
I got to see all kinds of the animals, and and most recently I've been to Costa Rica.
Nice.
Just last month, so I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Good for you. And a lot of your artwork tends to be Canadiana, and geographic, like it's scenes from different cities. Or iconic Canadian designs that you make into these, plush ornaments. For people who are listening, by the way, we do have some products in front of us. So if you can, pop over to YouTube or just check them out on our website, makerhouse.com. You'll see these beautiful plush, like pillow style ornaments. They have a vintage quality to them as well.
I always like retro themed stuff. So that's actually the first ornaments I make were cameras, because I just wanted to do something different and that wasn't so Christmassy, and that way people can enjoy them all year as well.
I remember those. They had like Polaroid cameras and other vintage cameras made into these plush ornaments. We also have a giant plush pillow, a maple syrup pillow, and she makes other things like tea towels, and we have a sticker pack that we carry of poutine and Canadian beer, some art prints, and even iPad cases here. So I'll hold some of these things up while you describe for our listeners and our viewers, like, when did you start Creationz by Catherine? Why did you decide to make a business out of it?
Yeah, sure. Well, it first started, I studied theatrical design. It's in college. And through that, I learned a variety of skills, like drawing, for set design and costume making. So I learned how to sew and build sets. And so I had a lot of skills, but it was a lot of, there wasn't a lot of work in that field.
It's a tough field to get into, like theater. It's very limited. Yeah.
It's very limited and still is. So I just wanted to, I decided to make Christmas stockings for a small church craft sale.
Okay. What year was this?
That was more than 10 years ago, I would say. And then I just sold them all. I sold a lot of them, and people really reacted well to what I was selling, because it had a different twist to it. It was something unique.
Okay.
So after that, I had some left over, and that's when I decided to...
Great feedback, obviously.
Exactly. And then that's when I decided to put them on Etsy. And I kind of found Etsy by pure happenstance. It was an article I found in the magazine. And that's when Etsy was not known at the time.
It was pretty early days for Etsy, yeah.
It was pretty early days, and it was mostly an American site. And I just thought I'll put them on there and see what happens. And I actually sold them all, and people kept asking for more and different colors. And so I thought, well, I should just keep going.
Yeah,
and expand from that.
It's motivating when you find an audience for your work.
Exactly. And then I started making other things, and I self-taught myself how to illustrate on Illustrator and on my iPad.
So going into the digital... Yeah,
exactly.
On the iPad. Nice.
So that's when I started making more stuff like tea towels, stickers, and art prints.
Awesome. So it did all start with the ornaments then?
With the stockings.
Or with the stocking story. Okay. And we had some of your stockings in the store a couple of years ago as well. Yeah. Really unique designs. You had like a hockey skate and the Converse shoes.
Exactly. So, that was the two most popular designs. Yeah.
We love your creativity. So tell us something specific in your business that you do the hard way. That's what this podcast is all about, right? And why you choose to do it the hard way.
Yeah, one of the things I choose to do the hard way is exactly that. It's creating my own illustration. So I first come and I do a drawing in my sketchbook, either by pencil or in pen.
Just a sketch.
Just a sketch. And then I'll put that sketch on my iPad and then I'll do the sketch over again digitally.
Okay.
And then that's when I add the colors as well.
You clean up the lines a little bit.
Exactly.
Because you end up with a really vibrant finished product. Like the details are all there. You can even see, like, I've got a Labatt. It's not Labatt. It's La Bière 50 ale ornament here, and even the like little coins with the deer or the moose antlers on it. It's all there. So it takes some time, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of the designs take me like between 4-10 hours, depending on the complexity, and that's one thing that takes me time. But I appreciate. I think that creates a unique product as well.
Yeah, that's what we're all about, right? Like that handmade product that does take time and it's got original. It's not made by AI. There's lots of that coming out in the world now. So it's nice to go back to something more organic and
more traditional.
Yeah, more traditional. So when you're creating these original designs, how often do they make it into a finished product versus, the ones that you sketch, but they don't make it into a design, like a printed design?
A lot of them don't make it because I try to draw it on a daily basis. So I practice that. And I think...
Keep the mind working.
Exactly. It's like exercise. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And I have a lot of ornaments that I do make and they don't end up selling. So you kind of have to follow what the trend is sometimes.
Yeah.
And
we know what that's like too when we either buy a product or we make our own products as well. And sometimes it doesn't work out. So you kind of learn that lesson like, okay, maybe I do a short run of this or I share the design with some people, get some feedback. Because I'm sure you've been in that same boat where you make something and you're like, oh no, I'm kind of stuck with this one design.
And then often there's some design that do super well when I thought I was only going to sell a few. So I have to crank up and start making a lot more.
Someone just ordered 300 of our Parliament ornament.
Exactly.
And we get requests like that sometimes for group gifts, or corporate gifts. So sometimes we're the ones emailing you, asking you to crank it up. That's great, Catherine. Thanks for starting to unpack the story behind your business. And we're going to keep it going in our second segment right after a quick break. Thank you for tuning into Why Bother, and we'll be right back. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Why Bother. I'm your host, Gareth from Maker House, with Catherine from Creationz by Catherine, and we're talking all about her designs for Christmas. And we've also got, if you're listening, we've got one of her plush pillows and other printed designs for artwork or even iPad cases that she creates from original drawings and artwork. So we're going to learn more about that in our second segment. Also, if you are watching, listening, please do like and share the podcast so we can keep growing. And if you can subscribe, that tells us that you want more. So we'll hopefully even do a second season as we're getting close to the end of our first season of Why Bother. All right, here's a fun fact about Catherine that I just learned. She does not decorate for Christmas. Believe it or not. Tell us about that. Why don't you decorate for Christmas? Do you have a Christmas tree?
I don't actually have a Christmas tree.
All the ornaments, where do they go?
I know. A lot of people are surprised about that. But I think it comes from the fact that I actually started making Christmas ornaments and stockings like even in February from the year before. Right. So by the time it's Christmas time, I've seen enough Christmas themes items, so I don't. And I get really burned out and I don't have the energy to decorate. But I actually love Christmas decorations. I'm
glad you love it because you do it all the time. You enjoy your work, right?
Yeah. I also buy all the places I've been around the world. I also bought an ornament.
Oh, nice.
So I have a big box of ornaments and I try to buy them handmade as well. So I have a big box of them.
Yeah.
So I probably maybe this year I'll
bring them out.
Yes.
And can you put them on your family tree? I guess you did grow up with Christmas.
Yes, I did grow up with Christmas. And actually, it's a big tradition. My family, we meet on the 24th and have a big dinner, and we used to go to church as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so great. And you're back home now. So tell us, you grew up in Vanier, you said, in Ottawa?
Yes, I grew up in Vanier in the French community. And then after that, after I did 1 year in University of Ottawa Fine Arts.
Downtown, yeah.
Yeah, I then went on to study in Montreal, theatrical design. And after school, I just wanted to travel. And me and my friends, we went on a road trip to Banff.
Okay.
And we actually ended up staying there.
You kind of fell in love with the mountains.
I fell in love with the mountains, the skiing, the lifestyle. And that's when I also, down the road, moved to Calgary.
Yeah.
And I've lived there. I've lived in the West for about 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what brought you back home recently? Within the last year, you moved back into Gatineau, but obviously still representing in Ontario. Your family, and you said your siblings are Franco-Ontarians.
Yes.
What brought you home?
Well, it was different things that happened in my life. First off, COVID happened.
Oh, yeah, so that little thing. Yeah.
I was out of work since I'm a flight attendant.
Okay.
And I also miss my family. And
10 years is a long time.
Yeah. And then my sister was having kids, so I wanted to be around my family more.
Be the favorite auntie. You got to get in there. Yeah.
I am the favorite auntie. Don't tell that to my sister.
Awesome. All great reasons to come home. We're so glad that you're here because we can actually meet up like this and do our podcast, and it makes it even easier for you to deliver products to the store.
Yeah. No, I love the community in Ottawa, doing craft events and everything. Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yay! We have the Gatineau Hills. It's not the Rocky Mountains, but it'll have to do for now. All right, talking holidays, because we are coming into Christmas and we're having our holiday episode with you. Thanks for wearing your Santa hat, by the way. For those listening,
I am festive.
We're in the spirit, yeah. You can decorate your head, maybe just not your tree at home. So, what's your favorite holiday song?
It would have to be, and help me out with this name, Meli Kaliki Maka.
Oh, I think you nailed it. I know that song.
It's a hard one to say. Exactly. I love it.
Say. Sorry, everybody. I hope we didn't lose our small group of subscribers there. And that's from the movie
Christmas Vacation.
That's right.
And it's actually an Hawaiian song as well, I believe.
Yeah, I think it is.
So it makes me think of holiday kind of Christmas.
Like traveling, it kind of fits you perfectly, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, flying to the tropics for celebrating Christmas. I also love that song. So I'm guessing Christmas Vacation is one of your favorite movies.
Yeah, it is. I watch it probably every year. And yeah,
it's a tradition, right?
I still like it.
Yeah, that one, Home Alone, Elf. There's so many classics. You have to go through
the list of the classics.
And this is probably what people are doing right now while they're watching and listening to the podcast, getting through the holiday, the movies. What's your favorite holiday activity?
I like a lot of activities around Christmas when there's snow. I love to go skiing, and I also like to go skating, hopefully on the Rideau Canal.
Yeah,
soon.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, it wasn't open your first year back.
Exactly.
So hopefully it opens.
But I still go skating at the Rink of Dream or other places as well.
Yeah, lots of places to get outdoors and skating. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. So let's go back into your process and your work. Tell us more about those steps it takes from an illustration on paper or on an iPad and getting it into a finished, stitched and stuffed ornament or pillow or even an art print. What are those steps and who's involved?
Yeah, so a lot of different things have a different process. So, for example, the ornaments, I actually print the fabric at home. Oh, and wow. I do everything myself, along with one of my seamstress. We print it on the printer and then we sew it. And then I get my family to help me stuff all the ornaments every year.
Yeah, another tradition.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's all year long.
They might not like it that much. But
yeah.
But yeah, so that is, and then for bigger things like tea towels or pillows, I do send them off the designs to a print shop, and then I get the fabric back. So I still do all the sewing for the tea towels and the pillows. And same process for the ornaments. It's just a big stuff.
A lot more stuffing in the pillow. Yeah, absolutely. It's so cute. For those listening, it's a maple syrup tin can, but in a stuffed pillow. We also carry your poutine design in a pillow. So the
poutine is probably even more popular than the maple syrup.
Yeah. Those are, iconic Canadian designs. We also have them on like magnets and T-shirts and the great souvenirs. So that's really cool to know it's all local. Like that you've invested in a fabric printer. That's not a small thing. And there must be so much cutting and stuffing and stitching because it's an ornament. We're not talking about something you make 10. You make hundreds or thousands of these every year as one person. So good for you to keep it small batch like that because, that speaks to still doing it kind of the hard way and not just farming it out. Yeah,
true. I could source out a manufacturing to do it, but I prefer doing it organically. And like you said, I do thousands of them. So it's a long process, but I do still enjoy doing it.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear that. It's still like a labor of love.
Yes.
For you, because that can be a challenge as you grow, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about growing up. You've clearly an artistic person. You went to school for fine art and theatrical design. Who were your biggest supporters growing up and pushing you into these skills?
Yeah, definitely. Growing up, I was from a very creative family. So my parents were always supportive of being creative. And then my mom would just bring things from work like boxes and paper bags, and we would just draw on them and make worlds out of not much really.
Nice. Cardboard worlds. Yeah.
Exactly. And then when I wanted to study fine arts and theatrical design at school, I was never discouraged to do that, even though there wasn't much work out there in those fields.
Yeah.
I was always supported. And now going to craft events and making the ornaments, as I said, I have my family to help me. They always come to the craft shows that help me out and help me with the sewing. Yeah.
Amazing. So it started young for you, being creative and drawing and painting. And so it's no surprise for your family. You were able to turn that into a career and part of your job. So good for you. And thank you to Catherine's family for supporting her so much so we can all enjoy her work. She may not decorate her tree at home, but she decorates the whole world and certainly all of Ottawa and Canada with your amazing creations.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's really an honor for us to work with you over the number of years, and it's still growing strong every year. You have new
thanks
designs.
For your support. I really appreciate it.
And it's our customers who are just enjoying your work. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back soon with our third and final segment with Catherine here on our festive themed episode. Thank you all for tuning in and watching or listening. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Smash that subscribe button, as they say, and we'll be right back. Everybody, welcome back to Why Bother? I'm your host, Gareth from Maker House with Catherine from Creationz by Catherine. Thank you so much for tuning in and thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You excited to try some food and drink?
I am.
All right. Well, thanks for making these delicious picks because I get to try them too. So Catherine has chosen, especially for those listening, we're going to do our best to describe this, some artisanal soda from County Bounty made in Prince Edward County. And then we're going to try some chocolate from Hummingbird here nearby in Almont as well. So let's get into the soda. You can grab your can here.
Thank you.
What flavor do you have?
I have cherry and mint.
Oh, nice. And I've got a cherry vanilla one. So nice colors too for the holiday season. A little red and green here. I'm going to open my can near the mic, get a little ASMR. Folks listening get a little treat there. All right. Let's see what we think. Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
What do you think?
This is really good. I love sparkling water, flavored sparkling water. And this is perfect. It's not too strong. I don't quite taste the mint quite yet, but I do taste the faint taste of cherries.
I'm getting the vanilla on this one for sure. Definitely more cherry, but the vanilla's hint. And I love that like crisp, sparkling flavor. It actually does have a festive vibe, right? It's like bubbles, but you don't need the alcohol. And the thing about County Bounty is for me is like the flavors just taste so fresh.
It does, yeah. It has the perfect bubbles in it.
Yeah, not over carbonated. My wife doesn't like bubbly drinks, but this one she enjoys, and it's just because it's not going to like bite the back of your throat.
I think it's almost like an acquired taste because I didn't like fizzy drinks before either, and sparkling water. And now I love it. I drink it all the time. Awesome.
Yeah, it doesn't get better than small batch made right in Prince Edward County. So Dodie is the owner and founder of County Bounty. Shout out to them. And you can find a selection of these drinks in our shop and on our website and at other fine establishments around Ontario and probably beyond. Shall we try some chocolate?
Yes.
All right. Amazing. So you can grab your plate there. I'll just hold up the bar for people who are watching, but I'll describe it for people listening. This is made by Hummingbird. It is the PB and Joy chocolate bar. Go ahead, Catherine, and dip right in. That stands for peanut butter and joy, by the way.
I love peanut butter and I love chocolate, so I don't think you can go wrong.
Amazing. What do you think?
That's really good.
Is it living up to the PB and Joy?
I'm not usually a fan of too much dark chocolate, but this one is really good.
Yeah, it's not too bitter.
Yeah.
That's the thing about dark chocolate. It does tend to be stronger, bitter. Hummingbird is award-winning chocolate for a reason. They really nailed it. Thank you for tasting those. Again, I get to enjoy it as well. And we're going to jump back into some questions. So we'd love to know, as an artist, who is one famous person that you would love to spend a day with, whether they're dead or alive? Who comes to mind for you?
I would have to say I would like to spend the day with Vincent van Gogh.
Oh, okay.
I know he's quite a famous artist.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Is he the ear guy?
Yes. Most people know him for that. But what most people don't know is that actually most of his paintings were made in the last 2 years of his life.
Oh, wow.
And he made about 2,000 paintings in a short amount of time. So I would like to ask him about his process. What was the motivation for all that work? And especially that he was struggling with mental health at the time.
Right.
And I'm just fascinated. And also, I'm surprised that he also only sold one painting in his lifetime.
Right. Yeah. Talk about a late bloomer. Just prolific, right? At the very end. Those are really interesting questions. So
I would love to bring him to the future and show him like, it's all what your work is now today.
I know.
Like it's sold for millions all over the world.
Yeah. And there was that traveling exhibit as well, that immersive Van Gogh exhibit.
Yeah, I got to see that. It's a really nice way to feature his work in a different, like digitally.
Projected. Amazing. I love, and that's so insightful to you as an artist as well. It speaks to your background in fine arts and your appreciation for that type of abstract design. And the story behind people as well. So, which is what we're learning today about you. Thank you for sharing that. We're obviously featuring your local creations here, and shopping local is very important to us at Maker House. It's what we're all about. Why is shopping local important to you? Is it important to you?
Yeah, it is quite important to me. I always try to buy handmade as much as I can. And especially because I know, like me, there are people making their crafts out of their own homes, and it might be done in a kitchen somewhere. And it makes me feel good to know that I can contribute to that, and it helps them create more things. Yeah, I always also feel good that I can contribute to that.
Awesome. Yeah, and it's a big circle economy, right? Where it keeps the money local, and you go to something like a craft show, and usually the makers are also the shoppers. That's
very true. Like recently, the same thing happened. I had a lot of vendors come up to me and they also bought my things. And the same, I always try to buy things when I do craft sales as well.
Awesome. Thank you for supporting local. Do you have any tips for aspiring makers? who are just starting out? What have you been learning through your business journey?
Yeah. So I think at the beginning, it's very intimidating to actually start. And there's a lot of makers out there, and you kind of sometimes don't feel confident in yourself to, I can't do this because so-and-so are doing it better. But I think you definitely have to try and make things and put them out there, whether it's on social media or selling them online. Because that way you'll start making more things. And the more you make things, the more people will appreciate, and you'll find your niche of where you belong. So I think it's very important to keep making things.
And put your work out there. Like, don't be intimidated. Like you said, don't be shy. Mm-hmm. There's a place out there for your creations. Yeah.
And there's a place for everyone. People now, they want to buy handmade things, and more people are going back to old crafts like knitting, sewing, and I think there's definitely value in that.
Yeah, I totally agree. The handmade, the maker movement is still going strong and growing, and more people are trying to support local. So find your place, but test the market, get that feedback.
Exactly.
And don't be intimidated, That's really good advice. Thank you for sharing that, Catherine. All right. We're now into what we like to call
the point of connection.
This is all about human connection. So how does human connection factor into your business or even just into your life? I know you're traveling and you're talking to people who are on planes as a flight attendant. So how does human connection factor into your business?
Well, a lot of the artwork that I do is alone at home, and you don't get a lot of feedbacks on it. So I love connecting with people, whether it's through a craft sale or even online. I get a lot of people asking me for a custom order, or even shops. I design ornaments or different things for them. So I think it's important to see what people they do like, and what they buy, and sometimes they give me great ideas that I haven't thought of.
Yeah. So human connection drives your creative process is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, exactly. And also attending events, I get to connect with other makers, which I love because we share tips, and it becomes like a small family.
Awesome. So where can people find you, Catherine, as we wrap up this episode? Where can they follow you? And what is your big focus going into 2024?
So they can definitely find me I'm on Etsy, I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Creationz with a Z.
Yeah.
By Catherine. My focus this year is probably finishing all the elements. I'm always on the go with a lot of different projects. Yeah. So I would like to add some puzzles and
puzzles. Yeah, very popular. We started selling them as well.
Exactly. I think 2020 kind of reinvented the puzzle.
Yeah, people had time at home. Yeah, another old craft coming back.
Yeah, and I always love doing puzzles, so that's one of the things. And then just finishing some of the illustration, adding more art prints to my store as well.
Very cool. So yeah, we're all of us can relate to like unfinished projects that we wanted to get done. So keep an eye out for possibly even puzzles coming from Creationz by Catherine in 2024. Be sure to follow her on Instagram or Facebook, Creationz with a Z by Catherine. You can find her on Etsy in her store. You can find lots of her work at Maker House. And thank you so much for joining us, Catherine.
Thank you for having me. And I really appreciate the podcast you put on. It's really good for the community of sellers.
Really our pleasure. This is why we bother doing what we're doing, because we want to piece together the puzzle of the story behind the products. And we want people to meet the makers. So it's really our joy to get to spend some time with you. And we know your time is valuable. So thank you for being here today. I hope it was fun. And
it was
also our listeners and viewers, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Be sure to like and share if you can, so more people can enjoy learning about these stories, and smash that subscribe button so we can grow with you and hopefully do a season 2. We have a couple more episodes to come this year, and stay tuned. Thanks for watching Why Bother, and we'll see you soon.